Welcome everyone. My name is Gonçalo Moreira. I'll be your host today talking about point and figure charts. Specifically, we will cover the one box reversal chart. I hope you enjoyed the session. All right, so let's go. In this session, we are going to do some very basic stuff. We will start from scratch, simulating the evolutionary steps of point and figure charting, how they came to be as we know them today. We will, as a means of an example, we'll construct what is known as a one box reversal chart. This is one of the first versions of PNF charts. And finally, we'll see some links and references, and hopefully we have also some time for questions and answers. A brief introduction about the history and development of point and figure. The bulk of the classical studies were written in the first half of the 20th century. We have Richard Schabacker, Victor de Villiers, who is often quoted, Owen Taylor, Wyckoff, and others who wrote, especially in the first half of last century, pointing to the origins of the point and figure chart to the second half of the 19th century. Is not sure exactly who and where it started. Seems like there were different places and people working with similar solutions, and finally in the second half of last century, new methods of point and figure charting were developed, and they are still in use today. In fact, they appeared, or they emerged out of a need to record price movement quickly and efficiently whilst on the move. That means we will see with an example, but it was not intended to be a chart initially. It was just a way to record price action or prices as they were negotiated and quoted. Later, it was only later that it became a charting method as we know it today. And perhaps it is a method that is not very widespread, not very widespread and used by most professionals, since in order to build such a chart, you need continuous price flow, and continuous price flow was something that only professionals had access to. So especially intraday price data, and that is probably one of the main reasons why it remain restricted to private investors. Okay, we see here a price sequence. This is a number sequence. Let's imagine these are prices. Okay, prices is taken from the trading floor, from a ticker tape machine as they flow. Okay, we avoid writing down the fractions, so we just took note of round numbers. So imagine you take a piece of paper and as prices are being ticked, you take note of the sequence. So it starts at 9, goes to 10, 11. 11 is again quoted, 12, twice 12, 13, and so on. So it moves. Then the second row from 21 to 19, 18, 19 again, and so on. So initially, that was the solution people found to take note of prices as they moved. but we can really see what price is done during the period. We can see maybe that it started at 9 and closed at 16 if we take this sample as a period of time, but we can really see extract other meaningful data from such a sequence, right? So the initial solution was to write down the numbers in columns. In columns as price moves upward and downward. So in that case, we just take here as an example the first digits of the sequence, and we started building a column of with those numbers, so starting by 9, 10, 11. Then 11 was again quoted, 12 also twice, 13, 15, 16, and so on. Okay, and as prices move up and down, as we have in this sequence here above, so inevitably we had to come to an additional solution, and in order to track downwards movements, we had to switch the column. Okay, so this was the first reason why this method, which at that time was simply a record of price flow, choose to be written in columns. So a new column simply says that prices change the direction, and as we see here, price goes up from 9 to 16, and then from 16 goes down to 15, and to 14. We see here above where I'm pointing to now, 14, 13, 12, 10, and again 10. Sorry, I switched the. Okay, and but this solution still had a flow, because as we see here in the first column, we just took note of all the prices being quoted. So we had double, twice or three times or repeated times certain values which has been transacted several times at that price, right? And in order to avoid that, we simply wrote a column with the single values. So if an instrument was negotiated, transacted several times at that price, the price was not repeated in that column. But the flow was that when writing a new column after a change of direction, if that price was not quoted before while in an ascending move like we had here, so that price or that box, so to say, was missed in the column, right? We have the 14, which has been quoted between the 15 going down from 15 to 13, but since there was no 14 being quoted while going up, so we missed that box. So the solution was then practical and immediate solution was to record all price distances, so to say, even if the price, if the instrument was not quoted or negotiated at that price. In that way, if price reversed and went through that value, we could use the box to enter that value. So this is how this kind of charting went in its first evolutionary steps. Okay, one of the characteristics of point and figure charting is that it takes no account of gaps, and the reason why it is, it's based on this type of construction. Okay, so even if a price is or an instrument is not quoted at a certain price, is not negotiated at a certain price, the gap will be not visible in the chart. Okay, like we have here in the first column, for example, we see the 14, but the 14 was really not negotiated, was not appearing in the tape. All right. So far, is it clear? This is the very beginning of point and figure. So you just have to imagine people writing down those numbers in the back of an envelope and trying to get a picture of what price was doing. And finally, if we take that the whole sequence of numbers that you can see above, and we put them down in columns, ascending and descending columns. If we write down those figures inside the box, we can already see more information, or at least the information is easily accessible or visible and from the construction. We can see, besides of the opening and closing price, we can immediately see the low and high price. Okay, so basically in a point and figure chart, we still have the price axis, so to say, which would be the vertical one, where we have the prices in regular intervals, but the horizontal axis, which is in other chart types like bar charts or Japanese candlestick charts, where the time interval is constant. Here, that second dimension is the change. Okay, so you will see maybe some authors saying that a point and figure chart has only one dimension, but the fact is that it is still d-dimensional, but the second dimension here is the change. So every time there is a change, the chart moves to the right, it moves one column to the right. So we could say that change is the second dimension in point and figure chart. All right. So far, do you follow? Is there any questions regarding the points that we have covered at this beginning? I guess it's pretty straightforward, everything. Okay, what information more could you see from such a construction? So besides of price action in up and down moves, we can see where price transacted at most of the time, at which price level were more records made. And this is an important information that we will use later for trading purposes. It can be used in order to establish price objectives, among others, and we will use this information later on. So this is an important or key characteristic of point and figure chart, that with a simple look to the chart, you can see immediately where the price was transacted most of the time, and what this means in terms of supply and demand is that at these levels where the boxes where the most boxes are filled, in those rows where the most boxes are filled, is where supply and demand is at its equilibrium, so to say. Okay, and conversely, if we look to the extremes, like the high here, we have the 24, or even the 23 was only transacted 3 times in this sequence, or below the 8 or the 9 being transacted three times. By looking where prices spend less time, we can also see levels where the imbalance between supply and demand was at extreme, so to say. Okay, so this is valuable information. So we see the number of changes, the number of times the price changes direction. We can see the high, low. We can see where prices were, or where the trading activity, where our supply and demand expressed in supply demand was at its equilibrium, and we can also see where the imbalance between supply and demand was the biggest. Okay. By the way, the name figure, pointing figure, so you can already see the figures are where the prices that were filled in the boxes. Okay. So initially there were figure charts, there were point charts, and finally then in the towards the second half of the 20th century, analysts started to talk about point and figure. But the name came from the fact that the figures were noted in boxes. Okay, so each number is or each figure in this case occupies a box, what is called a box. Okay, and from the sequence above, we can see the 20 as the most transacted price. This is an information that is obviously easy to see in the below chart, but not so easy in the above sequence. Okay, so observations so far. We know that P&S charts is a representation of supply and demand. We know also that when the market is quiet, the charts do not move. For the second dimension is change. So if there is no change, there is no move. Okay. We know also that no record is made of price gaps. So when there is a gap, we will see simply the box being filled with a figure, although that price has not been quoted in the market. Okay, but there are some flows, and in the version that we just saw with a figure chart, which is writing down numbers in the small boxes, is rather tedious work. Okay, and not to speak of writing down fractions. Okay, that would make the chart really unreadable. Okay, so users of point and figure charts had to evolve into a new step, and that is when what is similar to nowadays point and figure charts with X in the box were started to being used. Okay, here you see the X-only method, which is called the X-only method. Initially, we had all the boxes filled with an X, and in some versions of older charts, you will find that the key numbers of round numbers, usually 5 or 10, in distances of 5 or 10 or hundreds, you will see the 5 or 0, or even the figure printed in those boxes. Okay, but there are also the X-only method, where you have already a price column, and all the boxes are simply filled with an X. Yeah. The problem here really is that you don't really know which boxes are going up and going down. So still the method is not perfect at all. Okay, Ed, just to answer if a number is a fraction, if we enter 10 or 11, we will see that in a minute. We will see an example with fractions, and we'll construct a chart with fractions as we have in our chart in our market, the Forex market. Okay, then from the previous version, there was an improvement made where the columns, the descending columns, were changed for O's instead of X. Okay, so already can see the first column going up, second column going down, and so on and so on. And if you notice, we have here what is called the one step back, which is there are some columns, as you see, where an O and an X can be in the same column. Okay, this is something that is only possible in the one box reversal charts, and that means that if the price goes back by the box size, reverses by the amount of one box size and immediately reverses again to the original direction, we can have an O or an X in the same column. Okay, so if we take the sequence, for instance, starting at 22, like we have above here, this would correspond to this X above here. Okay, so we see that from 22 it goes back to 20. So we record an O at the 21 and another at 20. Okay, you see that even if 21 was not quoted, we still have to fill the box, the 21 box, and not leave it in blank. So we put an O in the 21 box and another in the 20. Okay, and thereafter we see that prices goes from 20 again to 21 and back to 20 again and up to 21. We see the above sequence here, from 21 to 20, from 20 to 21, and we see the price action here. Since it only changes by an amount of one box, in that case we are using round numbers, so the X and O can be drawn in the same column. Okay, then we go from 21, we go down to 19, as we see here. The sequence is 21, 20, and the 19 being quoted 2 times. Okay, so even if a price is quoted 2 times, the point and figure chart will register it just as one box. Okay, so again, remember, the point and figure chart moves as there is a change. If there is no change, there is no movement in the price chart. Okay, so that's the results, as we will see in later charts. The results, one of the characteristics is that you can have a long periods of time periods, so to say, of price action comprised in very little space, especially if there is no significant move. If there is no significant move, the price, the chart will not print another column. Okay, so we see that in that case it goes back to 19, it goes at 19 again, and then up to 20, down to 90 again, and then 20 is being quoted 2 times, 21, 22, it goes up to 22. We are here at this X above here, then it goes down this time to 21, 20, 22 times, and then again 21, 21 it stays there, 22 prints another X up, okay, and so on and so on. Okay, right, Ed, you will probably see this kind of chart in movies. That's correct. You will recognize it from there. It is important to, I know that it's somehow tedious what we are doing here, but if you understand well what we are, how those charts are constructed, there are a lot of benefits which you can extract from it. I will tell you later. Okay, so the benefits so far. So you can follow price action during the period of recorded data, and I would add to it pure price action, because it is the only thing that we are recording, because we are not recording time. There is also no volume to such a chart. So really, it's a chart that is pure price action, and for price action purists, this is really a great charting method. Okay, you can easily see the high and the low of the period. Obviously, you see where the most of the trading had taken place by looking at the most filled row, as we have seen. It was in our example, the 20 price. It was where the row was most filled. Large data samples can be written in very little space, as I said, especially if there is no significant change. You will have a lot of time period compressed in a chart. Okay, you can compress, for instance, 1 minute data during 1 year, and you can see everything in a small chart on your window. Okay, so if you have a 1 minute chart with bar charts or Japanese candlestick charts, you can't visualize 1 year of price action, and that is possible with point and figure. Okay? You can have really very continuous flow data or very low time period data compressed in a very small chart. Okay. Besides, precise time data is not needed. Okay, which is somehow an advantage to us, because sometimes there is a question whether an open or a close belongs to a certain day or not, depending on the time zone. We have the Monday open, which is for some of us is on Sunday, so that results in Sunday data, which some platforms transform it into a daily candle or a daily bar, and so on and so on. So there are lots of problems that arise in other types of charts, and really, if you want to have access to pure price action with a continuous flow, really, this is the charting method that where time really doesn't matter. Well, to respond to Ed's question, as for the software, there are several softwares that do these types of charts. Here at FX3, we use Teletrader Professional FX. I will give you a link later on. This is there you can have access to these kinds of charts. Okay, so now what we'll see, and this will answer Ed's question before, how to manage the fractions. We'll construct a chart based on a price sequence, okay, and we will take in order to construct our chart, we will give a value to the box size of 10 pips, okay. In point and figure charts, there are two variables which have to be determined before you construct a chart. And one of these two variables is the box size. So you have to decide how many points, or in our case, how many pips the price has to move in order to record a new box, to fill a new box. Okay. In that case, we will use a 10 pip box size. Okay. And we will see here on the left side of the image, we'll see a price sequence. Okay, it's numbered from 1 to 15. This is so to say, imagine this is the price as it is being ticked, so to say. And on the right side, we'll see the starting of a chart. Okay, so in order to start drawing, to to start drawing, we have to also to know whether we start with an X or with an O. And in that case, we'll see that the first price is being quoted is the 01122 and 1100, pardon, and we see that it increases in an amount of 10 pips by the third price. Okay, that means the price is on an upward move. That says that we start our construction with an X. Okay, we start our construction with an X, and we put that X corresponding to the 1100 price. Okay, in that case, the price being quoted is the same as the box size. We see the box sizes here on the right. They increase in the value of 10 pips, while the price here, as it is ticked, it has different amounts of pips. Okay, so we start in that case filling the box at 1100, and then we will move to the next tick price. We see that it is 01105, and so there is a 5 tick increment, and since the 5 tick increment has not reached our 10 pip box size, we ignore that price. So the price number 2 in that case is ignored. Okay, so we move to price number 3, and the price number 3 is 1110. So there is an increment of 10 pip in relation to the first box, which is 1100. So that means we take note and we fill the box with an X, the box corresponding to 1110. Okay. To answer the question, Brad Maker, how do you determine the box size for each pair over different time frames and volatility? This is a good question. This is a bit more advanced question, but in Forex trading, usually the box size is measured in the 10, 20, and 30 pip increments in the majors. Okay, and it depends on the nature of the pair, on its volatility, and also what kind of price action you want to filter out and to record on your chart. Okay, so we'll come to that point later on, and we'll see different examples. Maybe not today, since it is a bit more advanced, but for you to have an idea, in Forex, it's between 10 and 30 pip is used, but you can also work in increments of 50 pip or above above that. Okay, that means the higher the pip increment, the less the chart will move. Okay, because you need a certain price movement to record a new box, a new figure in the chart. Okay. So as we move on, we see that prices 4 and 5. So we are now at imagine we are here at 1110. Okay, and we have recorded the price number 3. So we move to price number 4, and price number 4, 1112. This is a 2 pip increment. Okay, so the 2 pip increment, we have to compare it to the box value and not to the last quoted price. Okay, it is always the last plotted box, so to say, that is considered whether to fill the next box or change columns. Okay, do not make the mistake of considering the last price. In that case, we were here at a 1110, and number 4 quotes 1112. This is a 2 pip increment. Okay, 2 pip increment is ignored. The next one is 18. So 8 is a 8 pip increment. 8 pip is less than 10 pips, so ignored. Next price, the number 6, 1120. Okay, this is a 10 pip increment over the last plotted box. That means we fill the box 1120. Okay, this is an important aspect in the construction. So far, so clear. Can we move forward with a sample? I guess so. Okay, so as we move on, we were right here in this box, 11, where the hand is, 1120, right? The next price, 1136. Okay, so there is an increment of 16 pip, and we record a next X in the 30 box. Okay, so although we have an increment of 16 pip, we cannot record more than one box, because we would need an increment to 1140 or above in order to occupy the box corresponding to 1140. Okay, so the increments in the chart are in 10 pip intervals, while the price increment can vary. So all the increments that are above 10 and below 20 correspond to one box increment. The moment you have an increment of 20 or more, but less than 30, you increment 2 boxes. Okay, so independent of the exact quote. Okay, so being now at the green box here, where the X is at 1130, which corresponds to price number 7. Price number 8 goes down to 21, which is ignored because it does not belong to the box 20, nor is it below, so we have to ignore it. Okay, number 9, it's still within the 20, but it's not 20 and below, so we have to ignore. And price number 10 fulfills the box size by 10 pip. Okay, because we were occupying the box 1130, and the new quoted price, which is 1120, is a 10 pip distance, a 10 pip reduction from that price. So we have to occupy a new box. And since the column and the 1120 box is already filled, we have to move to the right, and instead of an X, we put down an O. Okay, this shows us that by changing column, there is a change in direction, and by putting an O down there, we see that the change has been downwards by at least 10 pips. Okay, so you cannot see through the chart the exact quoted price, but you can see that it's within the distance of 10 pips and not more than 20. Because if the price would have retraced 20 or more pips, you would have 2 boxes or more. Okay, filled. Okay. Well, as for the box size, using box size with a FIB number, there results with the more accurate. This is really an advanced question, so I would not go into this on much detail. But the fact is that usually it's better to have round numbers for the box size. It's advisable to have round numbers, and then to do. If you want to sophisticate your analysis, you can do this afterwards on the chart. Okay, there indicators can be plotted and so on, but what refers to the box size, it's preferred to use round numbers to keep the price action clearer. Okay, but that is not to say that you cannot experiment with it. But I would not enter into this topic at this first session. I don't know if I think we are a bit with time, a bit short of time. The next speaker should be already waiting. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. And let's think of the next webinar. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice evening. Have a nice day.